Welcome to Lantern Light. There is nothing you need to remember and nothing you need to keep track of. You may drift in and out of the words. The story will remain quiet beside you. You are standing in the night, in the depth of winter, under a sky so clear and cold that the stars seem to hum with silence. The settlement around you lies beneath heavy snow, the drifts smooth and unbroken, and every low building sits quiet, half buried in white. Ahead of you, a longhouse stretches low against the frozen earth, its turf and timber walls rounded by snow, its edges softened, its shape almost gentle in the starlight. From the opening in the roof, a single thread of smoke rises perfectly straight into the stillness, the only movement anywhere, the only sign of warmth. The cold presses against your face and hands, but it does not bite. The air is too still for that. There is no wind moving through the settlement tonight. No sound from the animal buyers, no torches burning, no voices. Everything rests. You move toward the door, your steps muffled by the snow, and you reach for the heavy wooden frame. The door opens inward, and you step across the threshold, leaving the cold behind in a single breath. Warmth meets you at once, not as a wave, but as a presence, and you just inside, letting your eyes adjust. The door closes softly behind you, sealing the winter night outside, and you stand in the quiet, breathing in air that tastes of smoke and wool and the memory of the day's fire. This is Sleep Through History, and you have arrived in a longhouse of the Viking Age, somewhere in the lands of the north, in the long winter months when the household draws together and the cold is held at bay by timber and turf and the warmth of shared breath. There is nothing you need to remember tonight, no facts to hold, no names to keep. You are welcome to drift, to let the words become sounds, to follow only what draws you gently downward. The space before you is long and narrow, a single rectangular hall stretching away into shadow. Along the center of the floor, a hearth runs in a shallow trench, and tonight the fire has burned down to embers. A broad, low bed of them, glowing orange and deep red, pulsing faintly with the heat they still hold. No flame rises from them, only light, soft and amber, casting a warm glow across the packed earth and the lowest beams. On both sides of the hearth, raised benches run the length of the hall, built up from the earth and lined with timber. The benches are covered in layers of wool and fur, sheepskin and woven cloth, and on them the household sleeps. You can see the shapes of bodies beneath the coverings, children and adults lying close together, all of them still, all of them breathing slowly in the warmth. You do not need to know their names. They are simply here, resting, part of the quiet that fills this place. Above, the roof beams rise steeply, disappearing into shadow where the light from the embers cannot reach. The beams are darkened by years of smoke, smooth and solid, holding the weight of turf and snow piled thick above. The air near the roof is cooler, and somewhere high above, the smoke finds its way out through the opening you saw from outside, rising into the winter night. This longhouse, like others of its kind in these centuries, shelters more than people. At the far end, beyond the reach of the ember light, there is space for animals in the coldest months. Their warmth, a practical gift. Their presence, unmarked by sentiment. But tonight, that end is quiet. No sound rising from it. Only the breathing of the household and the faint settling of an ember in the hearth. You find a place among the furs on one of the benches, a space that seems to have been waiting, and you lower yourself onto the wool and timber. The coverings are heavy and coarse, dense with lanolin, warm from the bodies that have rested here before. You draw them over you, feeling their weight settle gently across your shoulders, your legs, your feet. The snow holds everything still. The embers glow before you, their light flickering only slightly, their heat reaching across the small distance to where you lie. You can hear nothing but the softest breath of wind finding a gap somewhere near the door, a thread of cold air that does not reach you, and the slow, even breathing of the sleepers around you. The silence is not empty. It is full, held by the snow outside, by the thickness of the walls, by the warmth gathered here in this long, low space. You let your gaze rest on the embers, watching the colors shift from orange to red to a deeper, darker glow. There is no need to tend them tonight. They will burn as long as they need to, and when they fade, the household will remain warm enough, wrapped together, held by the earth and timber and the quiet that winter brings. You are warm, you are still, and the night stretches long and gentle around you. You move toward one of the benches that runs along the wall, choosing a place near enough to the hearth that you can feel its warmth reaching toward you. The bench is there, waiting, and you lower yourself onto it, feeling the surface meet you with a solidity that is both firm and welcoming. You reach for the coverings that lie folded at the end of the bench, pulling them toward you, and first comes the wool blanket, heavy in your hands, dense with weight and years of use. You draw the blanket up over yourself, settling it across your legs, your body, up to your shoulders. The wool is coarse against your skin, thick and tightly woven, and as you pull it higher up near your chin, you feel its texture more clearly. It is slightly rough, the fibers still holding something of the animal they came from, and the smell rises faintly as you move the fabric, a smell of lanolin, of old smoke that has worked its way into every thread. The blanket carries the memory of the hearth, of seasons past, and it lies across you with a weight that feels both protective and real. Over the wool, you pull the sheepskin, and this weight is different, heavier still, the fur thick and soft against the roughness of the blanket beneath. The sheepskin settles over you completely, and you feel the way it presses down, the way it holds you gently to the bench, the way its weight becomes a presence you can rest into. Beneath you, the bench itself is smooth, the timber worn by years of bodies resting here, the wood shaped by use into something that holds you without resistance. There are slight unevennesses, places where the grain rises just a little, places where the surface dips, and these small variations are not discomforts, but rather the opposite, small adjustments that let your body find its place. The bench has been a seat by day and a bed by night for longer than you can know, covered with whatever was woven through long winters, whatever was gathered or made or kept. The weight of the coverings over you now is itself a kind of warmth, a kind of shelter, layered and real. You let your gaze rest on the hearth, and you begin to notice the rhythm there. The embers do not flame. They shift almost imperceptibly, a slow brightening and dimming, as though something breathes very slowly beneath the ash. The glow deepens, then softens, then deepens again, a pulse so gradual you might not notice it if you are not lying still, watching. This is the rhythm you will follow, this slow rising and falling of light, this gentle breath of warmth and ember and time. Around you, the room holds other sounds, so quiet they are almost not sounds at all. From the bench opposite, you hear the slow breathing of the sleepers there. A single soft exhalation, then silence, then another. They are not synchronized, these breaths. They are simply steady, each person breathing at their own pace, and together they create a pattern that is less like music and more like the natural rhythm of a room at rest. You let your eyes lift toward the roof above. The beams are darkened by smoke, their surfaces rich and deep in color, and they reach upward into shadow where the thatch begins, though you cannot see the thatch itself. The highest points of the interior are completely dark, and looking up is like looking into something without an end, a depth that goes on and on, held by the structure you cannot see but know is there. Your attention drifts back down, and you become aware of a thin thread of cold at ankle height, a line of cooler air that moves along the floor. It comes from the door, from the narrow gap where the frame does not quite meet, and through that gap, if you turn your head just slightly, you can see a faint glow, blue-white and soft, the color of snow in darkness. Outside, the snow lies over everything, and the cold is complete. Inside, here, is the only warmth for many miles, and you are held within it, beneath the wool and sheepskin, near the breathing embers, among the quiet sleepers. The snow holds everything still. You close your eyes for a moment, then open them again, and the hearth is still there, still glowing, still breathing its slow rhythm. The weight of the coverings presses you gently downward, and the bench holds you without effort. The room is warm and dim and filled with the quietest of sounds, and you are part of it now, another breath among the breaths, another body at rest, another presence settling into the long night. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. The wool is coarse and warm against your chin, the sheepskin heavy across your body, and the embers brighten and dim, brighten and dim in their slow and endless rhythm. The wool against your face is soft in some places and coarser in others. The weave uneven in the way of things made by hand. You can feel the individual fibers if you pay attention, the slight prickle and give of them, the warmth they hold between their threads. The coverings over you have built their own small climate now, a gentle weight that presses down along the length of your body, sealing the warmth close to your skin. Beneath the wool and fur, the heat has gathered and steadied, no longer climbing, but simply present, complete. asking nothing of you. Your limbs have grown heavy in that particular way that comes from lying very still. Not the heaviness of effort or exhaustion, but the quiet weight of a body that has been given permission to rest fully. Your arms rest where you placed them. Your legs have settled into the furs. There is no need to shift or adjust. The bench beneath you holds you without question. The wood worn smooth by others who have lain here before on other winter nights, in other years. The embers in the hearth have changed almost nothing since you first lay down. The bed of coals glows in the same low rhythm, the same deep orange fading into ash gray at the edges, the same gentle pulse of warmth and shadow. If you watch closely, you might notice that one small patch has dimmed slightly, or that another spot holds a shade more brightness than before. But the change is so slow it barely qualifies as change at all. It is simply the embers being embers, doing what they have always done, releasing their stored light in the smallest possible increments, as though they too understand that nothing here needs to hurry. Above you, the underside of the upper shelf is lost in shadow. You can sense its presence more than see it, a darkness slightly different from the darkness of the roof beams higher still. There may be stores up there, bundles wrapped in cloth or leather, shapes you cannot quite distinguish. The shadow softens everything into suggestion, texture without detail, presence without form. It is enough to know that it is there, part of the Longhouse's quiet architecture, another layer between you and the cold night sky beyond the turf and timber. The breathing of the others seems quieter now, or perhaps it has not changed at all, and you have simply grown more accustomed to it. The sound has become part of the room itself, no more remarkable than the presence of the walls or the warmth of the hearth. It is only air moving in and out in the rhythm that all sleeping bodies keep. The room breathes. You breathe with it. There is no separation, no need to listen for it or away from it. It simply is. Outside, the snow lies heavy over everything. The paths you walked earlier have disappeared beneath fresh fall, their edges erased, their direction softened into the general whiteness. The fields beyond the settlement hold no distinction now, no furrow or boundary visible, only the long, unmarked sweep of winter covering the land. Nothing moves out there. Nothing needs to move. The world has been simplified down to its essential shape: white earth, dark sky, and this warm interior where you lie listening to the embers settle. Midwinter was not a time of worry for the people who built this place. The work of the warmer seasons had been completed, the grain brought in, the animals seen to, the wood stacked, the stores laid carefully by. These long, dark nights were simply the season of staying close, of resting in the shelter that strong hands had made, of letting the body recover from the labor of summer and autumn. There was wisdom in this rhythm, a knowing that the light would return because it always had, and until it did, there was warmth enough and time enough to simply be still. You can feel the full weight of your body now against the bench, your shoulders pressed gently into the furs beneath you. Your hips rest against the wood. Your head has found its place in the wool, the exact small hollow that supports it without effort. The coverings lie over you with an even warmth, no cold spots remaining, no part of you reaching out toward the cooler air. You are entirely held, entirely warm, entirely at rest. The snow holds everything still. The embers glow in their slow rhythm, asking nothing. The darkness above is soft and complete. The breathing around you continues in its gentle pattern, and your own breath moves with it, slow and easy, part of the same quiet tide. The Longhouse stands firm around you, its walls thick, its roof sound, its warmth a gift it gives without effort or end. There is nothing to do but rest here, nothing to track or follow or understand, only the wool against your skin, the weight of the coverings, the amber glow that asks no more of you than to close your eyes and let the long night hold you in its patient hands. The embers are still glowing in the hearth, amber and dark red, the same slow pulse of light moving across the floor that has been there all along. You watch the glow, the way it brightens just slightly and then softens again, brightens and softens, as embers do when they hold their heat deep inside. The light reaches part way across the floor, fading into the darkness where the benches stand along the walls. Above, the roof beams stretch into shadow, the same dark timber you saw before. The highest ones, invisible in the quiet darkness overhead. You can feel them there, the weight of the roof, the shelter they hold above you, The darkness up there is complete and soft, and looking into it asks nothing of you at all. The wool is still against your cheek, the same texture, coarse and warm. The sheepskin lies over you with the same weight it has had since you settled here, pressing down gently, holding the warmth close around your body. The warmth has been here all along. It surrounds you, steady and unchanged. The room breathes around you, the soft presence of sleeping people along the benches, the rhythm of breath moving through the long space. You do not need to follow it. It is only there, rising and falling somewhere in the darkness, a rhythm that continues whether you listen or not. The air moves with it, so gently that you barely feel it, just the smallest shifting of warmth near your face. Outside, the snow is still falling, or perhaps it has stopped. But either way, the world is held in the same stillness. The night is as quiet as night can be. No wind moves against the walls. No sound comes from the settlement beyond the door. Everything remains covered, blanketed, held in place by the cold and the dark and the deep midwinter night. The embers glow. Amber, dark red, the pulse of light, softer now, or perhaps no softer than before, only the same. The floor catches the glow and holds it, the worn timber drinking in the warm color and giving it back more gently. You watch or you do not watch, and the glow continues. The beams above, the darkness, the wool against your skin, the weight of the sheepskin, the breathing of the room, steady and soft, asking nothing. The snow outside in every direction, unhurried, quiet, the wind gone, the cold held beyond the walls where it cannot reach you, the hearth, the embers, their slow amber light, the warmth close around you, the darkness overhead where the beams disappear into shadow. The snow holds everything still. You lie beneath the wool and sheepskin, the weight familiar now, the warmth part of you. The bench beneath you is solid, unchanged. The embers glow in the hearth as they have been glowing, the light moving across the floor, brightening, softening, the rhythm so slow it is almost not a rhythm at all. The roof beams rest in the darkness above. You do not need to see them. They are there, holding the night away, holding the roof above the warmth and the quiet breathing and the glow of the embers. Outside, the world is still. The snow covers the ground, the rooftops, the paths between the buildings. No one moves through it. The night is deep and cold and perfectly quiet. The settlement sleeps beneath the snow, and the snow asks nothing, only rests where it has fallen, holding everything gently in place. The embers in the hearth, the amber glow, the warmth, the wool, the sheepskin, the weight, the breathing, soft, somewhere in the room, the darkness above, the snow outside, the light from the embers is so soft now, amber fading into the gentlest red, the kind of red that holds warmth without flame. The glow moves across the floor, and you see it or you do not see it, and either way it continues, patient, steady, asking nothing of you at all. The beams overhead hold their place in the darkness. The walls stand around you. The cold remains outside where it belongs. Inside, the warmth stays close, the air carrying the scent of wood smoke, of wool, of the dried grass beneath the firs. The room breathes. You breathe. The rhythm is there, soft and easy, and you do not need to think about it. Outside, the snow rests on the ground, on the rooftops, on the stillness of midwinter night. The wind does not return. The darkness is complete. The cold holds the world quietly, and the world does not resist. The hearth, the embers, glowing amber, glowing red, the warmth reaching across the floor, the wool against your cheek, the sheepskin heavy and warm, the darkness above, the beams you cannot see, the breathing soft and steady, the snow, everything is still, everything is warm where you lie, and cool at the edges, and cold beyond the walls, and the cold stays where it is. The embers glow, the darkness rests overhead, the room breathes around you, and the snow holds everything, everywhere, in the deep quiet of the night. You rest now beneath the weight of wool and fur, and there is nothing left to see or follow except warmth and breath and the faintest glow of amber somewhere at the edge of your awareness. The details of the room have softened away into shadow, into quiet, into the long, slow darkness that fills the spaces above and around you. What remains is only this, the warmth held close to your body, the weight pressing gently down upon you, and the embers that continue their slow breathing in the hearth without need of watching. The embers are simply there, as they have always been on nights like this. They do not ask for your attention. They do not flicker or change with sudden motion. They rest in their own bed of ash and glowing wood, pulsing with a rhythm older than thought, older than worry, older than the need to remain aware. You do not need to tend them. You do not need to keep them alive. They know their own life, their own slow fading into warmth without light, and they will be there in the morning, waiting beneath the ash to be coaxed back into flame. The weight of the coverings rests along the length of your body, and you feel that weight as comfort, as stillness made tangible. Your breath moves in and out without effort, without thought, a rhythm as steady as the embers, as constant as the snow that lies over everything beyond these walls. The bench below holds you as it has held sleepers for seasons beyond counting. The timber worn smooth by the weight of other bodies, other nights, other winters. The darkness above holds you as well, vast and soft and without end, and you rest between these two steady presences, supported, released, allowed to simply be. Your body has grown heavy in the warmth. Your limbs rest where they have settled, and there is no need to move them, no need to shift or adjust or seek some other position. This is the position. This is the place. This is the moment that does not ask you to be anywhere else or anything other than you are now. The breath continues in and out, slow and easy. The air moves through you as the night moves through the hours, without effort, without intention, simply because this is what breath does, what night does, what winter does in the deep heart of the season. Outside, beyond the thick walls, beyond the turf and timber that hold the warmth inside, the snow holds everything still. There is nothing to do now, nothing to watch, nothing to follow. The embers rest, the snow rests, the sleeping forms along the benches rest in their own quiet breathing, and you rest among them, one more body held by the winter night, one more breath joining the slow rhythm of the house. The warmth surrounds you, the weight covers you, the darkness holds you without asking anything in return. This is enough. This is everything needed. The faintest glow of amber lingers somewhere beyond your closed eyes, a presence rather than a light, a warmth rather than a color. It asks nothing. It offers only itself, constant, steady, fading so gradually that fading and continuing are the same thing, the same long exhalation into the quiet of the room. Your breath moves with it, slow, soft, barely a whisper of air. The snow holds everything still, and you rest in that stillness, wrapped in wool and fur and darkness, held by timber and earth and the long patience of winter as the embers pulse their slow amber song, as the night deepens around you, as sleep and waking become one seamless quiet, one unbroken rest that has no need of ending, no need of anything but this: warmth, weight, breath, and the ongoing stillness of the snow-covered world beyond these walls.